Hi everybody. I was very disappointed when I went to see that Spike Jonze movie, Adaptation, starring Nicolas Cage. I'd naturally assumed it would be about evolutionary adaptation in snakes, and actually it's not about snakes at all. Anyway, since then I've always felt there should be a movie about evolutionary adaptation in snakes, or at least a quiz, and recently Lulu and Sunny and I decided to make one. This is it, and here comes question number 1. Iwasaki snail eaters have asymmetrical jaws and more teeth on the right than on the left. This makes it easier for them to eat some snails and more difficult for them to eat some other snails. What distinguishes one group of snails from the other group of snails? Question number 2. Sea snakes have specially adapted skin through which they can absorb something. Is it A, sunlight, B, constructive criticism, or C, something else? It's something else, obviously, but what is it? Question number 3. A study conducted in the mid-1990s sought to determine whether coral snakes are stripy because they evolved to look like which other animal? No multiple choice for this one because I'm afraid giving you options might impede your thought processes. Question number 4. Vote, open a bank account, pursue a career in dentistry. These are among the many things that elephant trunk snakes can't do. And we don't think any the worse of them for that. They're snakes. But what's something that, as snakes, you might think they'd be able to do very well, but they're actually rubbish at? After several decades of practice, I can now do these two things at the same time. What two things can pit vipers do simultaneously that make them very effective predators? I've got the answers. Question number 1. The asymmetrical jaws of Iwasaki snail eaters make it easier for them to eat snails whose shells swirl in a clockwise direction and more difficult to eat snails whose shells swirl in an anti-clockwise direction. Question number 2. Sea snakes absorb oxygen through their skin. Question number 3. In the mid-1990s, Brody and Moore published a paper called Experimental Studies of Coral Snake Mimicry. Do snakes mimic millipedes? The paper addressed the question of whether animals that like to eat snakes but are afraid of millipedes avoid coral snakes because they look like millipedes. The conclusion was that they probably don't. Question number 4. The floppy, saggy skin of elephant trunk snakes makes it difficult for them to crawl on land, so most days they don't even try. And question number 5. Pit vipers can see heat with the aid of the thermal imaging apparatus in their heat pits, and at the same time see regular things with their eyes. Thanks everybody. See you in the next one. Back in 2002, when I first heard about the Spike movie, Jones, you're a lovely girl.